Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
With artificial intelligence providing so many tools and ways to ease our daily lives, what's it like to truly be an author, a multi-niche author, sharing our stories and our experiences and writing on their own? We're going to find out today. Welcome to this episode of That's What She Said with Maria Gallucci. Maria Gallucci is the host of our show. Let's bring her out and find out what she's been up to. Hello, Maria. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
What kind of feedback did you get from your episode last week?
A lot of good feedback. I think that getting into it and at the beginning is kind of nerve-wracking, but I think people make you feel comfortable throughout the process, so that makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited for this episode, and I want to thank Mickey Mickelson and Creative Edge for providing us with another fantastic guest that we have today. Maria, what would you say to what I just shared about AI taking over in so many ways, and yet having an authentic voice like you have and expressing yourself through a creative media like writing? What does that mean to you?
I think for me, AI is like becoming huge right now, and I feel like it's good for some things, but what it takes out is the personal connection to people. And so, because people always ask me about real estate, like, do you think AI is going to take over? And I don't think it will, because it takes out the complete connection that you can have with people, which is very important in real estate, especially.
Absolutely. It's building those relationships that really makes a difference. So we're going to bring out our guest today, who's a multi-genre author, and we're going to find out what she's writing and how she's expressing herself. Let's welcome Mandy Eve Barnett to the program. Hello, nice to have you here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes,
so what are your thoughts about what I described in the opening about artificial intelligence in terms of writing? I know I was at a keynote recently and I shared this, but somebody raised their hand and said, well, I had AI write an entire book for me. And I was like, well, you actually didn't write the book then. So what are your thoughts about that?
To be honest, I'm very anti-AI. I think it just negates actual creativity. Your brain is much better than a machine, to be honest. So I would rather have people conjure up a story, an idea, a character, a setting, and then use that in their storytelling. Because there is so much around us that's inspiring and gives you that opportunity to use your own thoughts, ideas, and that's more important, I think, than using a machine.
Thank you for sharing. A question I have for both of you is, what if we don't have the confidence to actually believe that our own word is important enough? What are your thoughts, Maria?
That's a good question. And I think that you just have to, everybody struggles with confidence to begin with, no matter who they are. But I think that if you just push forward, and I think that AI can give you tips and all that stuff, but I definitely think that it takes out your personal self, because no matter how much you tell it to make sure you match myself, it doesn't. So I think that it's very important to just try to just move forward and just believe that you can do it.
Absolutely. And your book behind you, Raised in Silence, I think that really adds a lot to what we're talking about today, because many times we silence ourselves because of a lack of confidence, or maybe something that happened to us when we were younger and we just don't think that we're good enough, or actually that anybody would want to read what we have to write. Mandy, what do you say?
I think that as long as you are passionate about what you want to do and what your stories are about, you can make sure that your individuality is seen through the stories. I mean, we always have personal experiences that we draw from, and everyone is unique. No one has the same life story, and that's what makes your storytelling special. And I think the more you practice writing, the better you'll get at it. And, you know, joining a group or having other people around you that are passionate about, you know, creating worlds and stories gives you the confidence. I think you just have to start believing that your voice is special, and then you can go from there.
Absolutely. I agree with that, because we all have a unique story, and storytelling is a big part of life, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is for sure. And I've always been fascinated by writers, because I feel like every author has a different story about how they got started as well. And so I feel like some people say that they've wanted to write ever since they were little, and then some people just stumble into it. And so I think that it's very unique into every individual, which AI can't provide. And so for me, like, I just think that it's a lot better to do your own, like, your own creativity into for your own self.
I agree with you. Absolutely. So we find our voice and we decide we're going to put something in writing. Mandy, what was your experience for your first book? When did you decide that you had a story to tell and you were going to do so?
Well, I wasn't actually into writing when I came to Canada, and I just happened upon a writing group and decided I'd go and see what they were doing. And when I wrote my first very short piece, the reaction I got from it, because there was a twist at the end, really sparked something inside me. It was like, if I can get a reaction just from words, it's very special. And then I did a very cute little storybook. It's a picture book for children called Rumble's First Scare. And that was actually making sure that a child isn't scared about a monster. So I flipped the narrative so that the monster is cute and he's like really scared about going out on Halloween with his mum to do a scare. And it was just a lot of fun to write. And I was persuaded that I should publish it. So I did.
And when you look back on, oh, I'm sorry, Maria, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just laughing because I agree with her. Like, that's so true.
When you look back on your first book, if you were to pick it up and read it today, how would you say you have progressed?
Oh, goodness, that's exponentially. Yes, I mean, it's a picture book, a very limited amount of text. And now I'm writing, you know, huge novels that are, you know, thousands of more words than I ever thought I'd ever write, to be honest. But I think once you start feeling your creativity and how you can show, you know, all your stories, then you just sort of come into your own with it all. And I mean, I know lots of people have said, you know, even if I hadn't seen your name on the book, I knew it was you because of your voice and how I use language and situations. And I try to put a twist in the tale in most of my books.
Think of how
That's my favorite.
profound
Sorry.
that is. Wow.
I know, and I love that because I think my favorite part when I read books are a twist at the end. Like that. That's why like I love like mysteries or suspense or even like novels and everything because of the twist at the end.
And if you think about it, the words that you used, Mandy, that people knew it was your voice, that's called influence. So how would you say that whether you're aware or not, that you have this influence, that it actually catapults you through to new projects?
Oh, goodness. I think it's how my mind works. I like to conjure up a lot of emotions and suspense. And I think that's from being, you know, a novice writer, learning the skill, practicing, and really learning from others that has helped me do that. So I like the way that people say, you know, your writing has a certain emotional content. And I did a deep dive a while back to find the most basic part of my writing, and it came back as love. But it's not just romantic love, it's love of family, friends, the natural world. And that's my core emotion throughout my books.
And what about love of self? Because that's important too, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maria, what are your thoughts?
I love that, and I think that a lot of that's something that a lot of people don't but like realize. Like you write the book, but at the end it's having them discover what's in the book and the story that's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. So, Mandy, when you think about the journey that you've taken, we talked briefly backstage about, I asked you, are you a full-time author? And you kind of chuckled. What did that mean to you that caused you to chuckle?
Well, because I have a lot of aspects in my life that take me away from sitting in front of my laptop, unfortunately. But then the flip side of that is, if I didn't go out in the world, I would have nothing to write about. I would not be inspired or find something that sort of clicked in my head to make a story about. So although you say full-time author, people think we're sitting at a laptop and you do nothing else. But I think you have to gather experiences to make your stories. So, I mean, I'm also secretary of my Writers Foundation of Strathcona County. So I do lots of promotion for them. I hold the monthly meetings. I organise events. I'm also partnering with a magazine and do a monthly column. I also am a freelance writer, so I help people with their writing. So there's lots of aspects of my writing life, and I'm quite fierce about being an advocate for the writing community, and I like to be able to help, you know, young writers. So I mentor when I can, and that's giving back because I was given the opportunity and the encouragement, and I want to be able to do that for other people, and that's important to me.
I really appreciate that giving back aspect.
I do, because I think people connect when other people before they connect with like products. And so for me, that's something that I admire about you, because you don't just focus on your book, like you're focused on helping other people and collaborating with other authors and making like helping them create opportunities for them as well.
Mandy, would you like to respond to that?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've during the time that I've been writing, because I didn't publish my first book till 2011, and I was, let's say, an older adult when I wrote it. But it's given me so many connections and so many friends and so many opportunities. And you probably don't understand how passionate I am, but to have this community who, you know, not only champion each other, but, you know, are resourceful for their own work. And that gives everybody a real connection. And I would always want to say, you know, I'm always free for someone to say, look, you know, I'm stuck with this. Can you tell me how I get over this? Even if it's just a simple 1-2 sentence reply, I can say, well, I see what you're trying to say, but if you flip it, you know, change that sentence structure or whatever it happens to be, and then I've helped someone, and that's important.
I love that, because I think that I really believe in every aspect that there's room for everyone to succeed. And I feel like sometimes people think that we all have to compete against each other, but I really think if we lift someone up, I think we all grow. And so I think that's very important for all of us to be inclusive like that. Have you ever watched another author and see one of their breakthroughs and thought, this is exactly why I do what I do? And I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mandy, with the work that you're doing in encouraging others and adding support, what qualities would you say that you see consistently across the board with writers? Because we all have a story, but not all of us choose to be writers. So are there certain characteristics that you see?
I think if you feel that this story that's inside you is worth sharing, some people think, well, you know, it's easy to do a book, but when they start writing it, then they understand it's a huge commitment, and the process can be very long. I mean, I've written stories and I've put them aside, and they've stayed in the back for years and years because I didn't feel it was developed enough, it was strong enough, or it was time for it to be out in the world. And that's another learning curve for a lot of people, is that you can't just throw it out there and hope for the best. You have to really work at it. And that comes with experience, I think. And the more you can help new writers understand that, because I think they want to rush into it all, and that doesn't help their progress. It doesn't help their voice. So you need to be able to develop your story to the best of your capabilities, and then have someone mentor you or help you with it or edit it or whatever happens to make it better. And then once you've done that, there's a huge community that will be quite happy to point you in the direction, like, you know, that this publisher might be interested in that, or I've heard about a similar book, you know, go and connect with that author and see how they did theirs. And I you know, I don't want to be competing with people, as Maria said, because it's self-defeating. You know, why would you want to do that? You know, we're all creative people, and we should support each other.
Absolutely. And I do want to say we have a number of comments from people on social media. So thank you very much for all of your comments and your support. We appreciate you. We just don't have time to put them up on the screen. So Maria, I'm going to turn the interview over to you and Mandy for a nice discussion. I'll see you at the end.
Okay. I agree with you about collaboration, because I feel like if we all are just in this together in any like business, and especially with writing, I think that if we are all together, it makes it's such a big difference. And we're not in competition with each other. I think that all of us have our unique traits and unique goals. So what would you think that that would be with you? Like when you first started writing, what was your thought process while you were doing that?
I think from my initial little picture book, once I understood that, you know, my brain could create something that people enjoyed, it sort of propelled me forward. And I would just look at, you know, news stories, or I used a lot of writing prompts, multiple, because they helped me get a response, you know. My brain would sort of click into something. I mean, I still do that now with my writing group. You know, we'll just have a prompt, and every single person's response to that same prompt is completely different. And that's, I think, the basic part of creativity. And I would like to be able to say that, you know, my stories are unique because they came from my brain. And I would love people to be able to look at the book and think, that was a good, you know, that was a good story and I really enjoyed it. And at the end of the day, that's all we want. We want people to enjoy our books. And I don't think there's anything better than that, to be honest.
I agree. And I think that as a journey as an author, like when you finish the book, you're thinking like, what's next? Because that's how, like, I was thinking, like, well, wait, what's now? And then so you have to like get your name out there, and it feels good when you get the comments back about your book. Did you always think about writing that genre, or did you like fall into it? What was that journey like?
For me, the fun of writing is to try out different genres. I will get an idea and I'll start writing the story, and quite quickly it'll be apparent, A, what the genre is, and B, the age group, because I write across age groups as well as genres. And I feel that helps me develop as a writer, because I think, okay, I'm going to try this genre and see if I can do it. Sometimes it doesn't go the way I want it to go, but you know, I can put that aside, and at some stage I'll go back to it and think, now I understand that genre better. And I think once you get that sort of click in your head that this is really fun and I like writing, you're unstoppable. Although I've published 11 books and I've got another one coming this year, there are like 9 unfinished manuscripts that will be sitting until I think they're ready to go. And that's the love of writing and creating and finding your voice.
Exactly. And is there, do you feel like there's a time of day when your creativity like comes out in your head, or what you're doing at that moment, or does it just like flow?
Yeah, it just comes into my head, to be honest. So I could be doing something really mundane and something pops into my head. I mean, like last year I was on a road trip with my best friend in Jasper Park, and I had a story that I'd put aside for a very long time, like we're talking years. And I'd asked someone in a writing conference to give me feedback on it, and they said, well, that's not going to work because of some of the subject matter. Okay, so I put it away. I'm thinking, fine, I won't be doing that. And then road trip, we're in the middle of the mountains, and all of a sudden this idea popped in my head, and it was a complete new chapter to the book. And I'm thinking, where did that come from? I mean, obviously, subconsciously, this story has been sitting there percolating. And once it thought, okay, this formulates a much better beginning to the story. And then I went home and wrote it. So you can never say, I've got a set time. I know some writers do, and that works for them. But because I'm doing multiple things, I can't say my writing time is 10 to 3 on a day, because that doesn't work for me. You know, I'm pulled in lots of different directions. So when I do write, I become totally absorbed in it, and then the world disappears for me. I am in this story. It's a movie in my head, and the characters are pulling me through, saying, this is what we're doing, and this is where we're going, and this is what's going to happen. And I know some other authors don't get that, but that's how it works for me.
I love that, because I know that when I'm reading a book, I can visualize everything, and I'm like in the book, and like if someone's talking to me or whatever, like I don't even hear them. And that's probably how it's like for you too. Like, oh, did you say something while you're writing it? And I feel like when it's especially when you're doing like creativity and stuff, but I feel like a lot of my thoughts are also on a road trip or driving, because I'm a real estate agent, so I drive for a living. And so within that, I just thoughts come up. But then sometimes I would forget it, though. That's my problem. How do you overcome that?
I always carry a notebook with me.
There you go.
I know people say, well, you can record it on your phone. No, I have to write it out. I have to have a pen and paper. So, you know, my purse has a notebook. Beside my bed has a notebook. If we're going anywhere, I have notebooks, because as you say, as soon as you think of it, write it down or record it, because it will disappear. You know, I dreamt about such and such a night last night, but I can't remember any of it apart from, you know, there was a white glove in it. You know, so it's like I don't understand. It's important to put it down as quickly as possible.
So I have horrible handwriting. Do you have good handwriting? Can you? Because I will try to read notes and I can't even. I don't even know what I put down. I'm like, wait, what was that word again? Do you have good handwriting?
The writing's okay, as long as I don't. The only time when it failed me, I was in the airport lounge waiting for my flight, and this idea came to me, and I thought, oh my, I'll write it down. And of course, it's like they're calling people to go and line up. I'm thinking, I can't. So I'm scribbling. You know, I get on the plane and we're all sat, and I'm thinking, I can't understand what that says. But most of the time I can read it. And it, you know, I suppose it's a practice thing. Because you can do bullet points. You can just do a sentence of a dialogue or a scene. You know, I mean, one scene I did was a dream I had, and all it was a young woman falling out of a window. Thinking, okay, and that's all it was. There was nothing else. And I mean, I've incorporated it in a book since, but that's all I got. I couldn't remember anything before that or after it. Just that tiny snippet of a scene.
Did you put it in your book? In one of the books?
In one of my books, yes. In the Commodores. It's in this one.
Oh wow, that's so interesting. I always remember my dreams at night, but a lot of people don't. And so, but I think that a lot of ideas are within like your dreams and everything.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about a magazine. Are you collaborating with a magazine right now, or what's that like? Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, this is called Relatable Media, and they do lots of other things, but they do a monthly magazine. And I've been doing a column. It's over 2 years now. It's a long time. So it's just sort of my author thoughts on the writing life. And I enjoy that because it gives me a different vehicle to express my life as an author. And some of them are, you know, tips on various writing aspects. And that's, I think, a different type of writing, because A, you've got a deadline, and B, you've got a word count limit. So that also helps me when I'm writing fiction, because it stops you going off on a tangent and losing your reader, because you're talking about something that isn't relevant. So, I mean, having to concise, explanations or dialogue or a scene helps within your fiction writing, but also it's brought your non-fiction writing into a concise article.
I know that you write all different kinds of stuff. Is there one like version of writing that you love or prefer better than the other?
No.
You like it all?
No.
Awesome.
Writing the whole thing, I really enjoy. I'm quite obsessed with it now. I mean, I didn't start writing until 2009, believe it or not. And once I found it, it was like, why did I never do this before? I did lots of other creative things. I mean, sculpting and painting and sewing and anything else you can think of. But for whatever reason, I didn't do any sort of writing at all. But this medium sort of incorporates everything. Like, I'm painting a landscape with my words. I'm sculpting a character. I'm weaving a narrative. So it makes everything that I did before relevant, because I can now encapsulate it into one thing.
Exactly. Was there, because I know you wrote later in life, was there a moment that you remember that you had in your head, like, oh, I'm going to start writing?
At that writing group meeting. Because I'd gone to 3 meetings and I hadn't written anything. And I'm thinking, well, if you're in a writing group, you should really write something. So I decided I'd just use a prompt. And it was just 3 words. And I created a very, very short story. I mean, it was probably a paragraph, if that. And there was a real twist at the end. And then when I got that reaction from it, that was like, this is really cool. I'm really enjoying how I can use words to get a reaction from people. And that just started me off, and I haven't stopped since.
Oh, I love that. I'm sure you're an inspiration to all writers, even when they're starting out or after. And then, so I have one fun question that I would love to hear your answer to. So,
Okay.
Which book would you live inside out of all your books?
Oh, I would have to say this one.
The dream one.
Yeah, this one is a steampunk, but this person is a very independent, strong-willed, determined woman. And that's quite a reflection of how I am. And I love how she makes sure that everybody around her, including all the men, understand that she is a powerhouse, and that, if you really understand where she's coming from, you'll follow her. You'll understand that she is, the one person that can get you out of trouble.
Oh, I love that, because it makes you feel strong, and that's a good book to live in. I love that. You would probably invite her to dinner.
I would.
Well, it's so great having you. Like, I'm definitely going to grab that book, and I'm going to look in the book to see where the dream part is in there. Don't tell anybody. Everybody has to buy it to look at it. I love that. And so, out of our conversation today, what is the one thing that you want everybody to remember?
That stories are important, that your imagination is important, and that stories are a way of coping with the world and escaping the world.
I love that because I think that everybody can learn from that, because we can all be resilient, and we learn that stuff just going through life, and everybody just always has to just hang in there because it always get better. All right, thank you. I think Jacqueline's going to come back on.
You were doing so well. You just had to close out the show.
It's 35.
So thank you, Mandy, for being a fabulous guest today. We've been sharing your website, your Amazon links, anywhere else you want people to reach out to you, and who would you like to contact you?
Well, you can find me across most of the social media. And if you have a comment about one of my books, or you'd like to know more about the story and how I created it, I would love to hear from people. Because the book itself is the finished article, but it doesn't tell the whole story of how it actually got to be there.
Well said. Well, thank you again for being here. We wish you continued success.
Thank you very much.
Mandy. It's so nice meeting you.
Bye for now.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Bye.
Maria, well done today. How are you feeling?
Thank you. Good. She's very, very sweet and so easy to speak with.
So what would you like to share with people about hosting your own TV show? How's the experience been?
It's been great. It takes me out of my comfort zone because I'm shy in nature. And so this definitely takes me out of my comfort zone. I love meeting so many different individuals. It's been an amazing experience.
And for people who want to get in touch with you, and people want to buy your books, or people are looking to make real estate transactions, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So my real estate website is galluccihomes.com. And then for the book, it's on all platforms, and it has its own website, which is raisedinsilence.com.
All right. Well done. Thank you again, Maria, for being here.
Thank
We look forward to seeing you next week. Bye. Thank you, everyone. And again, so many comments. We really do appreciate it. We wish there was more time that we could actually push all of them on the screen, but we're not able to. But I do have a request. If you would consider subscribing to both of our YouTube channels, USA Global TV and Radio, where we have earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award for over 100,000 subscribers, and also Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, my personal channel, where we have just over 40,000, and we started 2 years later. So we are actively working on acquiring as many followers and loyal fans as we can. If you'd like to be a guest on this or any of our other shows, please go to our website, which is usaglobaltv.com. We're going to sign off now with a message from a couple of our team members. First, we'll hear from Mr. Red O'Laughlin, and then we'll hear from Tracy Cram-Perkins. Important information as we look for ways to age gracefully and to live a longer, happier, peaceful life. Let's take a look.
What if many of the problems we associate with aging are not random? What if there are identifiable causes behind declining energy, chronic disease, and memory problems? We have been told that aging is simply something we must accept, that slowing down is normal, that growing older means growing weaker. But what if that's only part of the story? Why do some people remain active and engaged well into their later years? Why do others struggle with disease, fatigue, and declining health? What is happening beneath the surface? What processes drive aging? In Aging Sucks, researcher, educator, and author Red O'Laughlin explores what researchers have discovered about why we grow older. No medical degree required, no confusing jargon, just clear explanations of what researchers have discovered about the processes that influence aging. You cannot stop aging, but understanding its causes may help you make better decisions about your health, your future, and your quality of life. Because understanding comes before action. Action creates hope. Aging sucks. End the guesswork. There is hope.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
How much of your value have you been giving away? Saying yes when the answer should have been no? Lowering your price to secure the opportunity? Giving more while receiving less? Over time, it adds up. Until one moment brings clarity, you've been giving away your value. This is not about working harder. This is not about doing more. It's about boundaries. It's about pricing. It's about respect. From Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck comes a direct and necessary message. Stop over-delivering. Stop underpricing your expertise. Stop negotiating against yourself. Because when you recognize your value, everything changes. Stop giving away your value. Boundaries, pricing, and the business of respect. Available now wherever fine books are sold and on Amazon. A film by USA Global TV and Radio. Executive producer Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Videographer and cinematic production Paul Garcia. Voiceover by Ed Wargas. Stop giving it away. Start owning it.
Every great story begins with a vision. At USA Global TV and Radio for years, we've been providing world-class education, entertainment, inspiration, imagination, connections, and hope. Most people don't stay to watch the outro or the credits, but it's the people behind every success, behind every breakthrough, and behind every unforgettable story who matter. The TV show hosts, our guests, our sponsors, our publicists, our production team, our distribution team, our search engine optimization team, and so many more. You're the ones who make the difference. Every great story belongs to the people who bring it to life. Our future looks bright at USA Global TV and Radio, and that's because of you, our loyal fan base all around the world in more than 60 countries. Together, we're making a difference because you matter. USA Global TV and Radio, live streaming to over 60 countries. Voiceover, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Video production and direction, Paul Garcia. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV and Radio on YouTube.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbick. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.